Hey everybody, this is Evan Rogers ruining your evenings. 3 days. Uh,
Pay me $5 a month to ruin your night 3 days.
Hey everybody, this is Evan Rogers coming at you with the super exciting online live lessons. I hope you're having a wonderful day. You already know this intro because I do it every single time. So again, you can join in $5 a month and we'll leave it at that. We're jumping into lesson 9, even though I think this will be in the 80s of online lessons. We're here with Kayla and John. They said they're doing good, so I won't bother asking them right here. But hey, Kayla, this is going to be interesting for you because we're using. I shouldn't add. I want to take off non-complete because that's actually the thing that we added. Using adjectives to adnominally modify nouns. Also, movement verbs using ni and e. Okay, so this is the big daddy. We're going to be using adjectives to modify nouns like before the noun, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably like, Evan, I've been doing that for weeks at BGSU, and it's not that big of a deal, right?
Maybe. I don't know. My Japanese is not very good. So.
Well, like, do you ever say like oishii restaurant?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been doing that. The thing that I'm doing though is we're going to use all of the 4 patterns that we've learned. The positive, the complete, the past tense, that is the negative and the negative past, in front of nouns, and we're going to discover something about how adjectives work, but we won't get into that yet because that's the meat and potatoes. This is a vocabulary heavy lesson.
So we need to actually learn the vocab, John.
We'll probably do 2 or 3 nights of flashcards once I get those popped out. But I do have the set of vocabulary created, so and it's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be tricky. There's a bunch of them. All right, just go ahead and repeat after me. Nomimono.
Nomimono.
Namimana.
Nomimono, just like the verb nomimas with mono added to it, means a drink. One Piece.
One Piece.
One Piece.
They named a anime off of a One Piece dress. Apparently, I don't know why they named it One Piece, but I never really got into that one. Game.
Game.
This is for games. There's like terebi game, computer game. They like when we say video games, I feel like that includes computer games and like cell phone games as well. But like they're a little bit more stringent on their specification of what kind of game they're using. This is just generalized game. We have an interrogative, doko.
Doko.
Where? Where is it? Kyokai. This would be a church. They're not as abundant in Japan as they are here. Nikuya. So we see the pattern that we're going to see in a few of these. We have an object, niku, meat, and then ya added to it to mean a meat shop, aka a butcher's. Denki. This means electricity and also like the lights. So you might say denkyo keshite, turn off the lights, but also a denkiya is an electronics store. There are 2 major ones. Yamada Denki, I think is how they sing it on the commercial. And then there's Kojima, I believe. Not that's important to anybody out there, but there's 2 major ones. Honya. That's a bookstore. Once again, hon, book. Hom. That's a joke for me and my family. My daughter said hon funny when she was very young.
Book off.
There's like 4 of those something offs. And every single time.
Off, there's hard off, there's home off, there's liquor off.
Hobby off.
And hobby off.
Okay. Hard off always made me laugh.
Like better be off than on, I guess.
What was that, John?
Better it's off than on.
Oh my god, my it fell off. I gotta go chase it. All right. Anyway,
well, it's weird. There's a liquor off because I guess they still use.
I never saw that one, but now that I heard you pronounce it, That is
Yeah, I
making me
know.
laugh hysterically in the inside, but I'm trying to compose myself.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah, I
didn't
know.
catch
You
that
never
till
got it
now.
either. I know.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the old joke about a casino. Poker in, oh sorry, what is it? Liquor in the front, poker in the rear. I'll let the audience try to catch that joke. All right,
Yeah,
super.
I had a worse one.
Super.
Super.
I don't think Evan wants your worst ones.
I had a worse one.
I'll officially end the lesson and then I'll edit it out when we're all done. Supermarket, super. They literally just took the word supermarket. Um, Markets in Japan are way more. You know when you go to like Kroger or like whatever place you're gonna go to buy stuff, and it feels very sterile.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to buy like Indian stuff or like some ethnic type of food,
Yeah.
and like the stores are dramatically different and very much smell different.
Mm-hmm.
That's like every store in Japan.
Well, they don't really have supermarkets though. It's like every shop is specialized.
They're beginning to get them, and
Oh, for
they
better.
feel much more Western.
Well,
But
I remember. I know my friend Ayana. Whenever she comes to Ohio to visit me, she is always like Meyer. She's like, she always wants to go to Meyer.
every single no, you're entirely true. Like every single Japanese person that like comes to America for the first time, they're like, drop me off at Walmart in the morning and pick me up in the evening. I'm like, are you sure about that?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
the last time my friend came to visit, like pick her up from the airport, we drive past the Meyer distribution center, and she's like, "There's Meyer."
It's so interesting, the stuff like it's such a different culture. Like
Yeah.
yeah, everything's similar, but everything's different. It's wonderful. All right, next one. Pun.
Pun.
fun.
This does not mean a pan, it means bread. I think this is the same pun slash pan as pancakes. I don't know if the word pancakes come from cooking them in a pan, or if it comes from this like Holland, or is it like Dutch word for bread. Anyway, panya.
Panya.
Anya.
That is a baker slash a bread store. Japanese bread, honestly, is fantastic, but America has the winning amount of variety of bread and wonderful types. But when they're if you can find a Japanese bakery, give it a shot. It's gonna be plain old white bread, but it's gonna be wonderful. All right.
There's one up in Novi, Michigan. I always try to go to, but whenever I go up there, they're like closed.
Yeah, Japanese stores always have the weirdest hours too. It's like they take random, like, we're gonna be off on Wednesday, and you're like, why Wednesday? Yeah, it's like, okay,
Yeah, what's
and then you go on Tuesday and they're closed anyway. It's the weirdest thing. All right, anyway, Hoseki.
Hoseki.
Oh, sexy.
This is jewelry. It literally means valuable rocks. If you look, this is the kanji for treasure, followed by the kanji for rock. It's treasure rock, which sounds like a cool band name. Hosekiya.
Hosekia.
Oh, sexy.
So this is the jewelry shop. Next one, konbini.
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 Everyone who's been to Japan knows at least one konbini, and you know how important they are. Depato.
Depato.
The pato.
There's a department store. I can't imagine where they got the name Depato from, but all right, next, Sakaya.
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 This one's tricky because it's a liquor store and sake is liquor, but I guess they went with Sakaya. They do not sell soccer there. They sell booze there. So be careful with that one. Ginko,
Ginko.
Ginko.
the bank. Many banks are actually in the post office, and I guess that's not weird to like non-Americans. So I don't know, if you're an American and you think going to the post office is the same as going to the bank, then I don't know what to say.
Well,
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
are the banks over there all government controlled? Or do they have private banks like we
I'm
do?
sure they have private banks, but for some reason the post office has like a bank. And I've heard working for the banks is effing torture because like at the end of the day they literally count all of the tiny little ichi-yen things, and if your station is missing one, it comes out of your pay. So like I've heard it's just like Nazi banks over there.
Hmm.
I'd use the one that was in the post office when I was working there. It worked fine. So who's complaining? Oh, another random cultural thing about Japan. Cash is king over there.
Oh
I
yeah.
think
Mhm.
credit card, like when the families come over there, they're like, "Can you show me how to write a check?" And I'm like, "Yeah." At first, I was like, "What are you talking about?" Now I'm like, now I sit there and I'm waiting for them to ask me, and it's pretty funny.
Mm.
Anyway, bunbogu,
Boonbogu.
Boombogo.
bogu. This is stationery. Stationery in Japan is fantastic. Everything with pencils, paper, and pen is fantastic in Japan. So go to your local bunboguya.
Boonboguya.
Boombogo. Yeah.
Apparently Japan was, they are insane about their stationery, and apparently the chalk that they made uh actually felt nicer than the chalk in America, and all the rich professors would go to Japan and buy a bajillion pieces of chalk and bring it back to America. Something happened, it's a long story, but look up how Japan's chalk is better than American chalk, and there's like a long history. Anyway, next, megane.
Nagane.
Nagane.
The way that you said it, Kayla, was very Italian. Megane.
I was trying. It's because I was like laughing at your chalk thing.
That's true. Like, there's articles about it. I'm not even joking. And professors, you can see videos of them talking about it. Megane, glasses, because none of them could believe. They thought that the Japanese people were just being boisterous and like, "Oh, you stupid Americans," and then they were like, "Oh, whatever." They drew with it. They're like, "Oh my god, this chalk is amazing," and it really was. Like when I was in Japan using the chalk on the chalkboard, I was like, "Oh my god, this feels fantastic."
Is it like a flavor thing or?
It's so smooth. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to like a school and you try to write and sometimes it doesn't even actually write on the damn chalkboard. But like that stuff, it just shwa, like you can paint with it. All right, next. Meganiya.
Megane. Yeah.
Nagane. Yeah.
Guess that might mean a glasses store. I don't know. It's not really the optometrist, although I forget if they did stuff there. I didn't really get a lot of optometry work done there. Kurininguya.
Kurin Inguya. Kurin Inguya. It's always so hard to
It's the word cleaning with ya. Kurininguya.
Kurin Kurin. Try it.
Where's it?
This one right here. Kurininguya.
All right.
Kurininguya.
Kurininguya.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty. Yeah. Whenever you try some of the words, sometimes speaking English and Japanese is really difficult. That's dry cleaning. You see those everywhere. Mise,
Mise.
Nise.
generalized, just store word. Kuko.
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 If you're going to Japan and you don't know, and you're just going to be there for a while, make sure you memorize these kanjis and make sure you know what this means. It means airport. Because you will think I'm going to go to Narita Airport, and then you'll go to Narita, and you'll be 30, 40 miles away, and you'll miss your flight. So just make sure you know how to get to the Narita Kuko, not Narita. They have completely different train stations. Believe me, I know. Gakko.
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 That's just a regular old school. Then we have Shogakko,
Shogakko.
Shogaku.
your elementary schools. That's a gakko. We have Chugakko,
Shugakko.
Shugaku.
Koko.
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 So real quick today, I had like the first part of my exam, and it was like a speaking exam.
Oh.
And so she asked me what my hometown is or whatever. So I said Walbridge, and then she asked me, "Do you have a school in Walbridge?" And I said no. And I think she thinks I didn't understand her, but we literally don't have a school in Walbridge.
You should write her an email. Like, I understood the question. We honestly do not have a school here.
Yeah, she was like, "Arimasen." She's like, "Do you have a bank?" I'm like, "Yes," but I think she thinks I don't know what Gakko meant. I'm just like, "No, we don't have a school. It's in Millbury, not Walbridge."
If I know this is something that be like when next time you see her, be like, I understood that you meant school. Like gakko means bing bong bong bong, and sing that like dun dun. Did you guys at your colleges? Did you have that music?
No.
It goes at Ohio State every 15 minutes. It would go dun 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 dun, and then at 30 it would do the next part dun 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 dun, and at 45 dun 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 dun. That's how then it would go bong 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 to count the number of hours.
I never heard that, but I'm only there for like 50 minutes a day. So
Every single school in Japan, in between periods, plays that song. So if you sing that song, dung dung, look up Carmen, Ohio. I know John, you don't want to do that, but Carmen, Ohio is the alma mater song of Ohio State, and it starts off with that. So if you replicate that noise, your teacher will realize that you mean school because that will have been ingrained in her entire life. Next, Daigaku.
Daigaku.
So you're going to Bowling Green Daigaku. Bowling Green. Oh, it'd also be it's state, right? BGSU.
Yeah.
So it'd be Bowling Green Shuritsu Daigaku. All right, that's
Yeah.
too long though. Asatte.
Asate.
The day after tomorrow, which is that like that lame-o movie? Ototoi.
Ototoi.
The day before yesterday. They got a special word for everything. Kongetsu.
Kongetsu.
This month. Raigetsu.
Daigetsu.
Next month we got Sengetsu.
Sengetsu.
And next we have no.
No.
Some of you might be thinking, Evan, that's a particle. Why is that under nouns? Because this is a noun. This is how you turn anything into like one of those things, like the tall one, the big one, the smelly one. That idea of one, that's why I have the in parentheses pronoun there. That is what this no does. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We have more. Now we have no adjectives. These are very much less common. Kono.
Kono.
It means this, as in this book would be kono hon. So we need to have there needs to be a noun following these. I figured this was a good time to bring in these very basic words. So I slipped them in here. Next we have sono.
Sono.
That, and then whatever the noun is going to be by you. Ano.
I don't know how to say that. Ano.
That thing, which will add a noun after that, that is away from the both of us, and dono.
Dono.
Great. So kono, sono, ano, dono. This is another ko, so, do series, which is first person, second person, third person. Which one?
Stop it, John.
What happened?
He wants to know how to say something inappropriate. I told him I don't know how to say it.
You don't know how to say it? All right. I'm sorry to everybody. We have two new particles. Ni.
Ni.
No. Stop, guys. Stop. That's shh. It used to be the guys who said ni. This is to a location. I shouldn't have the word point there. This is to go to a location, to be at a location. And you're going to want to think of a point in a location.
John, stop, please. I'm learning.
He's losing it.
Icky. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
There were, for some reason, a bunch of knights in that Holy Grail movie that were the knights who said knee, which didn't make any sense. And then I forget why they had to change their name, but King Arthur came back and they're like, we were the knights who formerly said knee. Now we are the knights who say iki. I forget what it is, but like iki niki boom bong bika.
Bingo.
All right, next one.
I can't handle these things.
God, my eyes are watering.
I like how it's killing John. This is the he character, but it's pronounced as e. As a particle, this will be e, and it means towards a location. Ni and e, when we're talking about going to or coming from a location, are largely interchangeable. Asking a Japanese person to differentiate between them, you'll never get a good answer unless they're a grammar teacher. We have two new verbs, irimasu.
Irimasu.
This is something is needed. It almost functions like an adjective, or it almost functions like an adjective. It would be intransitive, so something ga irimasu. And here we have sutemasu.
Sutemasu.
This is to throw away, to dispose of something. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to make a few changes to this packet, but I'll send you the not official one so you guys can study the vocab, okay?
Okay.
Would you like to make inappropriate jokes?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
What, your joke?
Well, it's just a brand of cider.
What's it called? Like Big Titty Cider or something?
It's a brand. It's Cummins.